Yeah, I started at the age of 7, my first recollection of not really fitting in with the gender stereotype that a boy should be. So I really struggled with that from an early age. I didn't really understand why that was happening to me. But as I grew older, into my teens, I just found this bigger disconnect between myself and the male stereotype. So I really struggled with that, and then that's when I joined the Royal Navy. Because I thought at that time it was just males at sea, and I thought if I immerse myself in that sort of environment, that might help me understand more myself and might help me to actually be a man. Sort of trick myself into that, like self-conversion. But that didn't work. I spent 8 years in the Navy and left no different whatsoever. And then just hid, really. It's only about 10-15 years ago that I started to dress how I felt mentally, and then went through a phase of actually living full-time as female at home behind a closed door, and then still pretending to be a man at work. So that's quite difficult. That got really depressing, that switch when you go through the front door. That's a physical thing you go through, which is a barrier. It's a barrier between two separate lives. So that can screw you up mentally a little bit, and so with that came depression, darkness as well, like wanted to be one side of that front door rather than the other side. So then that started leading to things like self-harm, quite a serious thing. So after a while, back in November 2012, my friend kicked me out the backside and actually got me to go and see my doctor and get medical help. That's where my journey with the NHS started. So that's quite a few years ago already, 6 years. And then with my parents, I felt like I couldn't live that lie anymore because I was more and more living in the gender role that I felt was right for me. So I was lying to them by still pretending to be my old self. I just had to come out to them. That was a really scary time. I did it by email. On purpose. I thought if I could call them, I'm only speaking to one of them, I've got 2 parents still, and they'd have lots of questions and I probably wouldn't get out what I wanted to say to them. And it managed to enable them to reread what I'd said to them time and time again so it could really sink in, and then gave them the call a couple of weeks later after that. And they were shocked, they didn't really understand much, they needed as much guidance as I did on how to deal with this, coming out full time. But it's been a successful journey. Got in touch with friends, or made friends through Facebook groups, etc., and socially in Cardiff. And we just hold each other's hands, we look after each other, and we love each other, it doesn't matter who we are. Trans man, trans woman, non-binary, intersex, anybody, it doesn't matter. We're all vulnerable people, we're all going through the same sort of changes, although all our journeys are different. That's got me to where I am today. It was only 18 months ago I came out at work, another scary situation. Did that by email as well. I came out to 1,865 people with one click. So very scary, but then went on leave for a couple of weeks to make sure that they could have their quiet conversations in corridors and whispering and stuff like that, get out of their systems, and then I came back to work as myself, my true self, Samantha Carpenter.